Initializing monetization. Monetization process successful.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another short episode of Live ZMU TV, Raw and Uncut, brought to you by your host, me, Armand Nicholas. Today we're going to be talking about, I believe this is probably part 3, maybe part 4, of a very important topic that we've always gone back and forth around with some of our members. Today's topic is obviously, we've gone through the education of what Fair Use Act is, what the Fair Use Guidelines are, and of course the 4 factors of the legal consideration of fair use. Now, let's talk about the main big topic: how to actually avoid violating the fair use on YouTube. That's what we're really concerned about, right? I mean, think about it. Like I told you guys there before, previously, I am not here to sugarcoat anything for you. I'm not here to basically do a video, make it nice and pretty and, you know, kind of pleasant and make you feel like, everything is okay. No, that's not what we're here for. That's what those other channels do. ZMU, Armand, is going to give it to you raw and uncut, whether you like it or not. If you don't agree with it, that's your problem. This is just based on a lot of information that we've already gathered. But we're going to give it to you exactly the way that it's supposed to be. We're not going to sugarcoat it for you. You're either going to basically use it, chew on it, gnaw on it for a little bit, and make a decision based on your knowledge, based on information that you acquired. No sugarcoating. So here we go. How? This is what we're really concerned about. How do we actually avoid violating the fair use on YouTube? And some of these concepts, they go hand in hand with the copyright laws and copyright claims, how to avoid those things. So you can kind of almost a little, a little different, but it's pretty similar just because these are laws and regulations, right? Best practices, right? These are the best practices to avoid violating the fair use guidelines, right? Now, I believe that you understand how fair use works now. We've already defined that in other segments of the episodes, right? Now, let me show you some strategies as far as how you can actually incorporate, to ensure, incorporate these knowledge to ensure that your content is not in violation, okay? So number one, well, I don't want to put numbers on this, but the first thing that you need to take into account is that you have to be original. I mean, that's just common sense. Be original. Don't even mess around with getting somebody else's content. I mean, that's the easiest way is don't use other people's content, right? But there are channels that we have, like the gaming channels, the tutorial channels using, software from other companies and things like that. The commentary channels that we have, right? So these people have no choice but to use other people's content. So hopefully this would work for them. But if you're original, that's it. Make sure your content is not a carbon copy of a copyrighted material. It's that simple. It's not a copy of a copyrighted material, that your content is original. Use your creativity, use your creativity to produce an entirely new and original product. That's be original, number one. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? It's pretty simple. Number one is just don't copy somebody else's work or don't use somebody else's work, right? Don't look to make into a profit. Number two, don't look to make a profit from a content that's not yours, okay? If your first goal is to use somebody else's content to make money off of it, to commercialize it, you're going to run into a problem because those two don't go hand in hand. It's that simple. Making a profit off of somebody else's work is definitely, you are not starting off in a good foot there right off the gate. Okay, you are definitely headed to the violation box, right? So the bottom line is, the first thing you put in your mind is don't look to make a profit off of somebody else's work that's not yours, right? If you are using someone else's work without their permission, permission, whether it's educational or nonprofit, it doesn't always mean that you're going to pass the Fair Use Act. Yes, being educational purpose, being a nonprofit, yes, there is a better chance that you could potentially be safe with the Fair Use Act and Fair Use Guidelines, right? Without violating the laws, but it doesn't always guarantee that, as I mentioned in the myth area, right? Now, just because you're an educational nonprofit, it doesn't always protect you, but you have a better chance of being protected, right? Limit yourself. Bottom line is, you know, number 3 is limit yourself to the amount of copyright work that you are wanting to use. So again, in the 4 factors, legal factors, the court system will determine how much of the copyrighted work did you use. The smaller compared to the larger amount is always the better, right? But just because you use a small amount, that does not mean that you don't you don't cross the violation. It just probably means that you don't have to go to the court system, right? But we all know this in YouTube. Even if you use 2 seconds or 3 seconds or 4 seconds of a copyrighted music video or a music sound, you are gonna get that violation from YouTube. And what's your solution? You got to go into your video, you got to go and edit that video and mute or delete that segment. It's 2 or 3 seconds, but it doesn't matter. They will tell you to do it, or else you'll violate that rule, right? But notice, you didn't go to court, right? But you did violate it. The court system just says that if it's a small amount, they'll consider, you know, not penalizing that person versus a large amount. But you know, not using any of that stuff is even better, right? I mean, think about it. Just think about it. Reverse the role. Reverse the role, right? Reverse the role. Let's just say that it's your original work. Let's just say that you put in the hard work and effort into it, right? Let's say that you basically put in a lot of the monetary investment into that particular project, right? And someone stole your work, or not stole, somebody downloaded your work and commercialized it and made money off of it. Do you think they deserve to keep that money, or do you think you deserve to keep that money because it was your hard-earned effort, right? If you choose to use someone else's protected work, put yourself in their shoes, guys. Put yourself in their shoes. If you realize that that your work is so similar that it would, you know, steal views or revenue from the original owner, you should probably take your content in a different direction. It's that simple. You should probably take your content in a different direction, because you are definitely knocking on that door of, you know, violation and infringement. Okay, so again, that's the 4th way to actually look at things, right? That's the 4th way to avoid these fair use violation is just reverse the role. Just put yourself in their shoes. All right, put yourself in their shoes and see how would you feel if somebody actually took your work. I know how I felt. I mean, I think I told you guys this before. You know, if you're a monetized person, there's a little button on your home screen on YouTube that says copyright. All you got to do is click on that button, and then of course it's going to scan the entire world of YouTube, right? And it's going to show you if your video is somewhere else out there. And twice now, not once, twice, that these individuals, or 2 people, downloaded my video and uploaded it onto their channel, right? The first one, how did they change it? They basically changed my voice into a chipmunk voice. It sounded kind of cool, actually. I wanted it, right? I wanted to know how they did it. They changed it to a chipmunk voice. The second one, nothing. They didn't even change anything. They just literally downloaded the video, uploaded it to their channel, and of course, they're getting views on it, right? Of course, does that make me happy? Number 1, it makes me feel good, because oh my gosh, somebody's downloading my video. Wow, makes me feel special, right? But on the other hand, I'm thinking, well, you're an idiot. Okay, no, that's not gonna fly, right? Those videos, you can't just steal those videos. I work hard to make those videos. So what did I do? I put basically number 1, copyright claim on it, right? But too bad, they're not monetized yet. I should have waited. I should have waited when they get monetized, and then of course I'm gonna put a copyright claim on that thing, so YouTube will just send me all of the profit they made from that video if it makes money, right? I should have waited. But anyways, I put a copyright claim on it, and then of course, basically, that's not fair use, right? They violated fair use, because just because they changed my voice into a chipmunk voice, that's not enough, right? And number 3, we put a copyright strike on it, right? We put a copyright strike on the channel. And last but not least, we told you to take it down. So this happened all in a 24-hour period. Gone, done, right? And then of course the second guy that did it, or gal, whatever, that's the same thing. We put the claim, we put all this and strike, and then of course the takedown of the video, right? There's that button. Until you're monetized, apparently I was told that the button is not there, but that's okay. Once you're monetized, there's that button there that you can click on that the first day that you're monetized, so you can check the entire YouTube world to see if your video is somewhere out there, or if it's something similar. Notice for the people that run into this before, it will tell you the percentage that it's similar. It'll tell you the percentage that is similar. In my case, it was 100%. It was 100% similar, 100% identical, because they just literally downloaded my video, right? If they use a portion of your video into their video, it will tell you a percentage. Oh, 5% of this video is yours. And it will tell you exactly which one it is. So it's a very robust system. YouTube has made it very, very unique and very, very powerful for creators like us to protect ourselves. That's just one of their ways to help us protect ourselves as creators, to make sure that nobody's, you know, kind of stealing from us, and nobody's using our material without our consent, so forth and so on. Okay, so again, please, that's the final thing that's on the list to avoid. These are the four most common ways to avoid things. Is obviously take these things into account and make sure that you follow the rules and guidelines to ensure that you don't run into these problems of actually violating the fair use or copyright laws of YouTube, right? Again, let's review the 4 things. Number 1 is always be original. That is the safest way to do it. Just be original. I understand that there are some channels that cannot just be 100% original, but make those significant commentary value changes and make those significant educational value changes on those videos. If you intend to use somebody else's work, is the safest way. It's not guaranteed, but it is the safest way. Number 2, avoid looking to make a profit off of someone else's video. I mean, common sense tells you that if if anyone's going to make a profit on that copyrighted work, it should be that person. Just because they did not advertise that content heavily that you did, that doesn't mean that you have the right to make a profit off of that content. They still have that right if you don't have their permission. So again, avoid trying to think to yourself, let me make a profit off of this person's back or off of this person's hard work. That's not going to fly. You're going to run into some issues right off the gate. Limit always, if you have to use somebody else's content, limit the amount, minimize the amount of copyrighted material that you're using. The smaller the better. Okay, the smaller the better, but we all know this in YouTube. Just because it's small, it doesn't mean that you're gonna basically get away with it. We've seen a lot of channels that YouTube during monetization says, sorry, we can't monetize you. There are some copyright claims on your channel, or there are some reused material on your channel, and it's this much. It's 2 seconds of your video, 3 seconds of these videos. And then some channels, oh my gosh, one of our previous members, I can't believe this. This was about 6 months ago. She went for monetization review, and she came back. She did not get approved. YouTube told her that there's over 40 videos in her channel, that had copyrighted material. And we're like, oh my gosh. Well, she has like 100 videos, I guess. I don't know, 100 videos, almost 100 videos on her channel. But she finally got she finally got her requirements to go for the monetization review, only for YouTube to come back and saying, whoa, your monetization request has been denied because you have 40 videos that have copyrighted material. You have to fix this first. In order for us to continue and potentially monetize you. Well, what did she do? We told her, take those videos one at a time and find it. Well, some of the videos, YouTube were able to tell her where what second, minute and 12 seconds to a minute and 20 seconds is where the violation is. So in some videos, she was able to basically cut out or mute in those videos, right, to fix it. But there's 40 of them. And I believe over 20 of them, YouTube did not even tell her where it was. So she was extremely distraught. So I told her, you only have 2 options at this point. Number 1 is to just completely delete those videos that you cannot fix, lose the minutes and the views and the hours out of it, and move on. Keep going, right? Or try to watch every one of those 20 some odd videos and try to find where those violations are. It's sad, but her choice was, at the end of the day, she was extremely disappointed. She was extremely upset. She was she was literally virtually crying, if I wasn't mistaken. And she just said, you know what, I'm just going to delete the channel. That's what she did. She was so upset that she deleted her channel because she could not figure out where to start to try to fix these things. I mean, granted, yes, she was with our team for about 9 months, but before that, she was already a YouTuber for 2 years to begin with. And then all of a sudden, she goes up for monetization, gets declined because of all of these things. And her solution was, I can't fix this. I don't know where the problem is. Delete the channel. She started a new one. I'm not too sure exactly how she's doing right now. But that's sad. That's just flat out stupid and sad, right? I mean, not on her part that it's stupid, but it's just stupid that she worked so hard and then YouTube is going to decline it. But it's not stupid on their part because it's the proper thing to do. Why would YouTube approve someone of monetizing, commercializing, and making a profit off of something that they're using somebody else's work, right? I mean, we have to take both sides, right? It's just sad that she didn't realize this ahead of the game. It's just sad that, you know, she had to result to deleting those videos or deleting her channel and starting a new one. Okay, so again, limit yourself, but even the smallest portion can get you into trouble. And last but not least, to make it easier, to use some common sense, reverse the role. Imagine if you're the guy that someone is taking some stuff from, and you know, take that into account, put it in your mind. Now if you're gonna sit there and saying, well, I don't really care, you know, I just want to make money, I just want to make profit off of this thing, well, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be your personal problem. There's something not firing, you know, your injectors are not firing in the right sequence up here, because that just doesn't make any sense. You should be honest, you should be straightforward. If you feel that you have the right to use somebody else's material and make money off of it, well, you got another thing coming. It's that simple. So these are the 4 different ways that you can actually avoid infringement on the fair use guidelines, or violating the fair use guidelines. So please avoid these things. Okay, so once again, I do thank you for taking the time to join us today for this short episode of Team ZMU Live, Raw and Uncut. Okay, I want to basically encourage you guys to just like the video if you like it. Make sure that you comment anything that you've learned from it, anything that you want to learn from us, please let us know. But more importantly, I want to know if you have a personal experience from this topic. Why? Because I want to learn from you. Others can learn from you. Let's all be educators for one another, headed towards the common goal. Once again, I thank you for your time. And as always, this is Raw and Uncut. No sugar coating for you. We give it to you as bitter or as sweet as it's supposed to be. Take it with a grain of salt, digest it, and use it to make an educated decision for yourself. Once again, thank you for your time. My name is Armand Nicholas. We'll see you on the next live episode of Team ZMU.